So this webinar, The Art of Advocacy Storytelling, Techniques for Creating Your Moth Story. This really important workshop, we are going to hear from Keisha Hare, who is a YI self-advocate, and we're going to hear from Robert Cardona, who is also a YI self-advocate. And so I know Keisha and Robert are joining us today, so I'm really excited to have both Keisha and Robert really share all about the importance of storytelling. So welcome, Keisha and Robert, and I'm going to toss it to Keisha first. So Keisha and Robert, if you're on mute, feel free to come off mute, but Keisha, I'm going to toss it to you first. Thank you so much for being with us, and I'm going to start off with you, Keisha. If you could just share a little bit about how you are involved with self-advocacy at YI.
Okay. Well, I always been an advocate, but for my I've been an advocate with 2010, and I've been obsessed for over 8 years. But at work, and I also got found and was creator of a book advocacy book. Now that what I like about my group is we all we all have we all come together as one group to collaborate ideas for the group, and everyone in the group we listen good. We take the time to listen to each other, and at the end of the meeting, it a it a very productive meeting. Becky, can you repeat that?
Of course. Thank you, Keisha. So just to rehash that, Keisha has been a very strong self-advocate within YI. Since 2010, she joined Self Advocates. She helped found the YI Bronx Self Advocacy Group, and she's been the president for almost the past 8 years. Keisha is a very strong self-advocate leader and has helped foster a really great group where everyone really works together and shares their opinions, and everyone collectively decides what the group would like to focus on, so the different projects that they take on. Thank you, Keisha. Back to you.
Now, I want to create this year but hopefully this year and my actions are pleasantly because even though I love being pleasantly, I would like somebody who take over. But if it comes back to me, I have no problem with it.
So Keisha's hope this year is that if somebody else is interested in being the Bronx Self-Advocacy president, we always love to see new people move up and get voted in and take on that role. So we'd love to pass on the torch of leadership. But if Keisha gets voted back in, then she is very happy to also continue in that role.
Thank you. Now, I give it back to Clayton.
Thanks, Keisha. That's amazing. And I just, I want to reiterate, what Bridget, what you were saying. It's so impressive, Keisha, to hear about you as a leader. And I've gotten to know you a little bit in planning this workshop. And you are always so warm and welcoming. And the fact that you create this environment that, people feel really comfortable to share their ideas, and you as a leader accept those ideas and work with everyone. I think that's what an amazing attribute of a leader. So yeah, we're really excited to have you here, Keisha. And we just started to get to know you. So I know we're gonna hear from you a lot more. So thank you for that introduction. And so now I am also excited to welcome Robert Cardona. And Robert, thanks so much for being with us. And I wanted to ask you the same question, to introduce yourself and just share a little bit about how you have been involved with advocacy at YI.
No problem, Tracy. I got this. Okay. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Robert Cardona, and I've been a self-advocate for YI for the past 30 years. I'm currently president of the Manhattan Self-Advocacy Regional Group now for the past 2 years. I have learned advocacy skills for home and employment with several role models. I fought for services, and I continue to do so. Currently, I'm the editor-in-chief of the YI Manhattan newsletter. I also attend the Bronx Riga Social Serves and the Manhattan Headquarters Connection Parties. I work for YI in the headquarters in Manhattan for the Easy Read job position.
Amazing. Thank you, Robert. And we were chatting a little bit earlier that some of that hard work that you've done as part of that Easy Read position is actually now on YI's website. So I'm going to pop it in the chat for folks that are tuning in. Feel free to, take a look at that Easy Read, those Easy Read documents. That would be really great. So yeah, and I know we already have some questions coming in. So I would love to, I think this question that came in is really relevant to what was just shared. And maybe we can just ask this question. Robert, I might just toss this to you first before we get to our next slide. If you feel like you aren't being listened to when you do advocate, what do you do if you feel like people aren't listening to you?
Well, I've sent several emails over the last couple of years, and I have let everybody on this so-called team I have, which they have not been acting like it either, but I've let a lot of people know about my advocacy wants and needs and rights, some of which were taken away from me 5 years ago. In terms of my recreation activities, I did with former DSPs in my organization called Job Path. And I also have been fighting to get another job outside of the Easy Read position I have. And I've been fighting tooth and nail with all the doctors I've been seeing. And my care manager also, another used to work. It's been a struggle the last 5 years. And it's been hard for me getting used to all this new management that people that have been coming around me, and I've seen a lot of evilness.
You bring up so many important points though, Robert. I mean, I'm hearing like these were, advocate and fight, communicate, like you're talking about emails, like putting things in writing.
Right.
But you also mentioned something about changes, right? There's a lot of changes that have happened within the disability service system. So I just want to thank you for bringing that to light, because my guess is that there are probably other folks tuning in today who maybe are feeling something similar with those changes. So thank you for sharing that. Keisha, I wanted to toss this to you too. If there are times where you feel like you're not being listened to when you do advocate, what do you do if you feel like you're not being listened to?
Well, what what made that I will I give voices my needs and wants, no matter how many times it takes. You got to hear me out.
Thank you, Keisha. So Keisha had shared, no matter how many times she has to say it, you're going to hear her out, and she's going to make sure that you know her wants and needs. And if you need to say it, if she needs to say it multiple times, she's going to keep saying it until her wants and needs are met. And that's really important. That's good.
That's great. Thank you. So what, I know there's some other, we have some other questions coming in. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of, ask these questions throughout, but I know we have our next kind of part of the presentation, and then we'll get to a couple more questions, is about the importance of storytelling. And that's really what, today's webinar is all about. Storytelling is really known to be a very powerful advocacy tool. And being that we're here today to talk about storytelling, Keisha, I would toss it to you to answer this question first, which is, why do you think it is important for advocates like yourself to share your story with others? Why do you think that's important?
You're on mute, Keisha. I don't know if you realize that. Darn technology.
It's really important because we need to express our, ourselves and what we need and what we do that is what storytelling. You can write it down or you put this cup from your heart. But the most important thing is for people to listen and hear what you got to say, no matter how or how you may communicate is important.
Thank you, Keisha. So Keisha was talking about how it is so important to express yourself and tell your story and express your wants and needs. And to have other people listen, we need to listen to each other and learn from that. And it's important to write that down for yourself and to share with others.
Oh, for sure. Thanks, Keisha, for that. And I hope everyone can see, we have like reactions coming in, lots of hearts and thumbs up from Keisha, both what you're sharing and what Robert is sharing. So thank you. And so Robert, now I would toss it to you. So same question. Why do you think it's important to share your story as an advocate?
Well, maybe others who are going through the same problems that I have been going through, and they may be scared to speak up to school staff, parents, or staff, but speak up. It's like that old saying, if you see something, say something. If you want to get jobs or have a partner, don't let others, even family, interfere. Don't let others rule your everyday life. And don't forget about the HIPAA laws, privacy laws.
Mm, for sure. Yeah. Thanks, Robert. I think that, like what you said if you want something, get a job or have a partner and not letting others interfere. And I think that really kind of echoes some of the stuff that Keisha was saying too and sharing. So thank you both for sharing that. And maybe I'm going to pop over to check out a question. There is a question about, how do you become a YI advocate? Robert, maybe I'll toss that to you. Do you know how can you become a part of an advocacy group at YI?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
you can also join the advocacy group. I'm a part of the Manhattan YI Regency group. It's located, and we're back now in person, actually, after a couple of years off from the virus situation. The address that you're going to be looking for is going to be, oh goodness, I'm messing up here already. It is on 220 East 42nd Street, and you have to go to the 7th floor. On our group, we talk about any topics that are regarding the disability population, such as, besides self-advocacy, self-employment, individuals who want to move into their own apartments, and marriage penalty laws. Those are some of the topics we've discussed in the last 16 years I've been a part of the group. And
Okay, amazing. And you reminded me too, I'm going to pop in the chat the YI self-advocacy website, because I know the newsletter from the Manhattan group is up. So I will definitely share that. And Keisha, being that you're the president of the Bronx Self-Advocacy Association, you're tossing that question to you as well. Are there ways for folks to become involved in self-advocacy at YI? And I'm not sure if you're on. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Robert I'm able to put my email in the chat. That would be helpful.
Thank you. So just share your email in the chat if you're interested in learning more, and we could follow up from there.
Got it. So if anybody is interested, you can actually, I know the audience isn't able to chat, but you can email us at conferences@yi.org. And I will be sure to get that information to Keisha. And I will, like I said, I'll also post the YI Self Advocates website too, because those newsletters that are put together are really really great and a great resource, I think, for everyone tuning in. So thank you. And thank you everyone for submitting those questions. Keep them coming. I think this next question about telling your story, right? So we're talking about storytelling today. And I think, Keisha and Robert, I've gotten to know a bit about both of your stories. And I want to share, before we get to this question, I think the two of you really sharing some personal things with us today is really brave. And so I just, want to, of course, share that with the audience, that some parts of the responses that you gave to me for this next question, I think, are really personal. So we appreciate you, really sharing this with the audience. And I know, Robert, you and I have talked about, you felt it was really important for you to share parts of your story because of others might be going through something similar. So I just wanted to say, before I toss this question to Keisha, I wanted to share that. But, Keisha, thinking about, telling your story and sharing parts of your life with other people, what are parts of your story that you feel are important to share with others? Maybe it's about your childhood or your experience in school and special education, or disclosing your disability, or seeking accommodation. So Keisha, what are parts of your story that you feel are important to share with others?
Well, uh, uh, well, uh, oh, growing up, uh, I always had people look at me, and I always felt that I had to defend myself, 'cause but over the years, I became more independent, and a lot more people inviting me for, my discrimination and my courage and my motivation, because even now people still look at me and amazed, because some people, they don't get up from mood, but I can move, and I tell everybody that I meet I could do just anything you could move and make me longer, but I could do it, and sometimes I could do better than you can.
Thank you, Keisha. That was really powerful. So Keisha had shared she's experienced a lot throughout her life of people just overlooking her and thinking that she can't do things, that she can't do anything. She still experiences it now. It was a lot when she was a child, but she was taught um, to be determined, to have courage, and to speak up for herself. And that's exactly what she does. And over the years, she's learned how to be independent. So, still, Keisha experiences people overlooking what she's capable of. And over again, she shows people that she can do the same things that they can do. And sometimes she could do it better. It might just take a little bit more time, though, and that's okay.
Amazing. Thanks, Keisha. Um, and so I wanted to toss this question to you now, Robert. What are important parts of your story that you think are critical to share with others?
And well, I get a little emotional discussing this, but it's okay. As a child, I was beaten up in the mainstream schools that I went to. When my family in 1994 5, my sisters took away both my house keys and locked me in my apartment in Manhattan for 9 months with no food, no more water in my fridge, and I passed out in my house from not eating for 4 days. Now, with all the struggles I went through to get to where I'm at, I'm now trying to get my community access back after not being able to no longer than going to the plays, concerts, and movie rights that were taken away from me 5 years ago. However, I want the mainstream population of people to understand that I'm not a paycheck. I'm a human being with real feelings. And I will be moving by the end of the year to a new apartment, a brand spanking new place and neighborhood with an entire new and better situation on the rise. If need be, talk to someone you trust in terms of self-advocacy. Don't keep any of your problems bottled up inside of you.
Thanks, Robert. I mean, I think, you're getting a lot of thumbs up from that. And certainly Keisha, you did too. I think you both, really shared some powerful things in these last couple of slides. And I know, Robert, you and I had talked about sharing some of this information, and I know it was important to you to share this because there may be other folks that are going through things now, maybe some young people tuning in who maybe are facing some similar situations in school with bullying and not feeling heard. And I think, what you have here that's in capital letters, I'm a human being with real feelings, I think is really powerful too. So
it is.
Yeah. So wanted to, of course, thank you both for sharing that. And I have some other questions I want to get to. I'm going to pop this slide up though, because we're going to talk a little bit about, and we've been kind of talking about storytelling, but we're going to get into talking about moth stories. And we're actually going to see a video of Robert from a few years back sharing his moth story. But let me get to a couple more questions. So there's a question coming in, and I'm wondering, Robert and Keisha, if you might know the answer to this. So since, YI doesn't have services in Staten Island specifically, do you have any suggestions for how a self-advocate could get involved in a group? Maybe if it's even a self-advocate, a group that's virtual. Like, Robert, maybe I'll toss this to you first. If someone's in Staten Island, could they be part of the Manhattan self-advocacy group, or do they have to live in Manhattan?
They don't have to live in Manhattan. We are welcome to have a lot of new members for our Manhattan region group. It doesn't matter what borough you're from, Brooklyn, Bronx, Staten Island, Queens. You guys are all welcome to join our group and have your voices be heard. Speak up for whatever issues are going on. We don't mind. We need a lot of new members.
Oh, okay. So that's great to know. And I know you still do some of your meetings virtually.
The newsletter meetings are still being done virtually, but the board and the general meetings are now back in person after not being in person for a couple of years now.
Got it. Okay. So someone could, if they lived in Staten Island and they wanted to travel to the meeting, or if they wanted to get involved in the newsletter, they could do that too, even though they live in Staten Island.
Yes, we need more individuals for the newsletter group. We're welcome to have anybody who wants to write any articles about the disability population and whatever topics are going on in the world, presidential, politics, or whatever's going on also in the United States right now. It doesn't just have to be disability population issues. You can write about whatever articles you want, whatever is on your mind.
That's great. And I did put in the chat the link to YI self-advocacy page. And I was just taking a look, and you have a nice form on there where, and hopefully this answered the question of the person from Staten Island, but you can put your name and your email, where you're from, and you can submit that. And I believe then someone from the self-advocacy team would reach out. But Keisha, I wanted to toss this question to you. I'm not sure how the Bronx regional group works. If someone from Staten Island wanted to join the Bronx meeting, is that possible? Or do you have any other ideas for how they could get involved?
That's possible. But okay. we welcome everyone. We go with women and no one. Because everybody will advocate. Now, now, again, if I get an email, I will refer that to the self-advocacy of government and New York State.
Thank you, Keisha. So, yeah, so in the Bronx Self-Advocacy group, we accept anybody into our group. We are largely meeting in person right now, though, but we don't discriminate against anybody. Everybody is welcome. And then also, if you share your email, then we can also put you in touch with Self-Advocacy Association of New York State, where they have connections with different self-advocacy groups throughout the state. So you might be able to find something a little bit more local there. I'm also gonna put in the chat, because Keisha, we were thinking on the same wavelength. I looked up the website for the chapter of New York City Westchester region of Self-Advocate Association of New York State, and they have some information about their meetings. So I'll put that there as well if you want to check that out.
That's great. Thank you both. And that seems like the perfect plug for the Self-Advocacy Association of New York State. Next week on Tuesday, they are doing one of these webinars. Two of their self-advocates are doing a webinar on ableism. So if you're able to tune into that, anybody that's tuning in today, we would love to have you join us for that. So yeah, Self-Advocacy Association of New York State. Yeah, that's a great idea. And thank you, Bridget, for popping that in the chat. Also a great place to connect to. Thanks, Keisha, for reminding us of that. But we would love to have anybody that wants to tune into that one. That's next to Tuesday at 12 o'clock too. So and I know, I believe I mentioned this, we're recording a select few of these webinars. So if you want to go back and rewatch any of these webinars, you'll be able to. So I know we got some other questions coming in. I'm going to go over this moth story information, and then we'll get to some more questions. So themoth.org is the website where the next few slides are taken from. So we've talked a lot about storytelling. There's this particular organization called The Moth. And they do a lot of really cool things. So what is a moth story? So moth stories are told at what are moth shows. And the moth shows are really renowned for a great range of human experience that they showcase. So each show has a theme. The storytellers that participate explore the theme, a lot of times in unexpected ways. Each story is really true, and every voice is authentic. So it kind of, the shows go from like a documentary to theater, and it can be really an enlightening experience for the audience. So The Moth was founded by a novelist, George Dawes Green, who wanted to recreate in New York City the feeling of sultry summer evenings that he used to have in Georgia, when moths were attracted to the light on the porch where he and his friends would gather to tell tales. So the first moth event was held in George's living room. And YI actually has a relationship and has for many years with the moth, and you're going to get to see, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to get to see Robert's moth story that he presented in 2013 at YI's International Conference. And the moth, Robert and I were talking earlier, the moth was, he said, really great and really supporting him with creating that moth story. And we're actually going to get to see a little bit of that now. So the video that I'm going to share is going to show Robert sharing his moth story, again, back in 2013. And this was part of an hour-long presentation where many self-advocates from YI actually shared their moth story. So I'm hoping, I'm having some odd video things here. I'm not able to share my video, which is strange. So give me 1 minute. I might not be able to share this now. It doesn't seem to want to work. Let me do one thing. I'm gonna, maybe I can. Let's see. I'm gonna try it again. Okay, here we are. All right. Hopefully everybody's still with me through that blip. So we're going to get to hear Robert's moth story. So here we go. Let me get to Robert here. You can actually, this is on our YI's YouTube. You can actually view all of these really amazing moth stories from different self-advocates, but we're only going to hear Roberts today. Actually, there's another self-advocate, Robert Carmelo, who introduces you. So I'm just going to get the end of Carmelo introducing you. So here we go. This is Robert's moth story.
To stay with Gus Jr. And I'm like giving her that grumpy little face. All right, if you say so, I'm gonna sign.
I got to go a little bit further.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege that I go back with this young man for a very long time. Of course, Mr. Dancer and Prancer, Robert Cardona.
Oh yeah, lower the mic. You know, I gotta be getting style and profiling for that. Thank you, Bonnie. This isn't the Academy Awards, Bonnie, so come on, it's not even the Essence Awards. Okay, hello, what's up, people? Yeah, man, I know you there, yeah. Anyway, my name is Robert Cardona. For all of you guys who don't know me, everybody in this room knows me, please. I am here to tell you guys about how I met my favorite soap opera star in all of the universe, Sean Ringgold, who played Sean Evans on One Life to Live. I wish the brother was here now. I read the soap opera books every single week. Soap Opera Digest, Soap Opera Week. You know I bring them to the day have all the time. And 4 years ago, I stumbled upon an article that Sean Ringgold was doing a fan club event in Manhattan. And with Job Pat's staff's help, I went to the event. Met Sean, cried, boo-hooed all over the place. Lord have mercy, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack and die. But I met him, spoke to him privately, asked him if he could come to the self-advocacy meeting at 34th Street. And these guys back here were not even aware he was coming. I had to keep it on the DL from everyone. But he came, but before coming to the meeting, I had to speak to Brother Man privately and tell him that I was one of his biggest fans for many years, and oh God, I wish he was here now. God, I wish he was here now. But when I met him, I spoke to him privately, told him that I was one of his biggest fans and that I wanted him to come to this self-advocacy meeting. Lord, let me tell y'all, I had to practically beg brother, man. I was down on my hands and knees begging the brother to come. But he came with his manager, and they were both talking about how they all had problems growing up, especially Sean. Surprisingly, the brother was mainstreaming the regular schools. He was picked on. He was bullied, just like me. I mean, I went to a regular school in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, a regular high school, Fort Greene, Brooklyn. I went through the bullying stage, so I know what it's all about. And you know, when I met him again in another fan club gathering 2 years ago, same thing, crying all over the place. Everybody in the Dayhab knows I get emotional. I'm like Whitney Houston, I get so emotional, babe. But I met him again. We took a lot of pictures and stuff. Oh God, I want him so badly. He is sexy. He is the flyest brother I have ever seen on the face of the planet. But my first time and second time meeting him, they were the best times of my life. And they have really inspired me to become an actor, rapper, musician. I mean, Tyler Perry better watch out. Robert Cadona is gonna be stealing your thunder. But the moral of the story is, if any of you guys want to meet somebody famous, go for it. Don't be sitting on your behinds looking at all the stories, including my favorite, which was One Life to Live. Don't hesitate. Advocate for your rights and needs. Speak up on your behalf. Don't sit around like on a lily pad or something like that. Speak up, y'all. Thank you very much.
Lots of claps on that one, Robert. I feel like that makes me smile more and more every
It
time.
it does. Even when I watch it, still to this day.
It's really, really great. So that was Robert's Moth story. And we'll make sure to if you visit YI's YouTube, there's a whole playlist of all self-advocate videos, and that's part of it. But just a few more things. I know I have some other questions coming in that I want to get to, but a few more just tips and tricks from the Moth. You can visit their website, and it has all of this information. They give you lots of great tips and tricks for telling your story. That just as you saw Robert just do, he was telling a story, right? You weren't reading it, right, Robert? You were telling it.
Yeah, I was actually describing the best experience ever in my life. I was not telling it. I was telling it like it was.
And you really, just as the Moth says, like you were connecting with your audience, right? You were so animated and enthusiastic, and you really, spoke from the heart. No notes,
No,
right? No cheat sheets.
no, I didn't need either of them.
And those are just some more tips and tricks from the Moth. Have some stakes. What do you stand to gain or lose? Why is what happens in the story important to you? I mean, you really shared that, Robert, right? Like
Right.
why it was so important to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Important
Yeah.
day, most important time ever in my life. The first celebrity I ever met ever.
That's amazing. Amazing. And these are just, again, some more tips and tricks you can find on the Moth's website. They actually give like some ideas for your first line to really set up the stakes and grab someone's attention. They give ideas for what you shouldn't do and then what you should do. And knowing your story well enough so you can have fun. I mean, Robert, you look like you were having a blast in that video.
Boy, was I. If Sean had actually been at that conference, I definitely would have fainted and somebody would have had to revive.
Well, I'm glad that didn't happen, but you just really you just look like you were enjoying yourself and having fun. And I think that is at least what the moth shares of what
Yeah.
makes for a good moth story. So
Right.
I'm so glad we were able to share that
Mhm.
video. And I know we've talked, Keisha and Robert and I, just about who can support you if you want to write a moth story. These were some ideas, maybe some friends or family or neighbors or teachers or staff, or even the moth on their website. You can go and they have some really great, those tips and tricks that we just shared. They have tons of videos that you can watch of other people sharing their moth stories. If you click on education on the moth.org, there's a section called storytelling school posts. You can listen to other stories. And then they have events that you can attend, storytelling events. So we encourage you, if you're interested, to take a look at their website, because it's got a lot of really great information. So Robert, this next question or this next slide is really some of your ideas. So I would toss it to you. If someone does decide to write a moth story, what are some ideas that you have of for what they can do next, what they can do with that moth story?
Well, they can share their moth story with people such as staff, DSPs, parent advocates. People who want to learn more about your moth stories. Don't keep it to yourself. Share your experiences. I've shared my story with many people, staff, friends, and neighbors. And they can be published. You can have them go nationwide or go on TV, go on talk shows, appear as a guest, and discuss your story live on stage, whatever talk show it might be.
That's great.
That's what I'm planning to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Karama show. Going on and talk about my life history. It's gonna happen soon. Yeah, not nervous at all.
Well, you'll have to keep us updated if that happens. That would be awesome.
Don't worry, a group CC'd email will go out about.
All right. All right. We will stay tuned. So thanks for those. Those are great tips. Like after you write a moth story, what can you do with it? Kind of now what? And Keisha, I'm going to toss this same question to you. So what are some ideas that you have? You write a moth story. What should folks kind of do with their moth story? How should they share it?
Yeah, well, but anybody that will no matter if you think they're not listening, or if you are afraid, get up story for a friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, parent, whoever. But more important, it will get the story out there.
Thank you, Keisha. So you were saying it's so important to share your story with anybody that will listen, your parents, boyfriend, girlfriend, anybody that will listen, even if you feel afraid, nervous to share your story. It's just really powerful, and can inspire others. So very important to share.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Keisha. And Robert, I know you had kind of shared some of these ideas that are on the slide, just about what are your thoughts about what does a moth story, what does it really do?
Well, moth stories discuss the individual's path to progress that they've made over the years, the circle of support that's received by their family and their peers, and how the disability population should not be thought of as a paycheck, but as an individual with a disability. We're able to make decisions that we want to make.
Yeah, that I like those words that you use, that path to progress. Yeah. Thanks, Robert. And now we're coming up right on 1 o'clock, and so we want to make sure we have time to get to our other questions. But before we do that, Keisha, I'm gonna turn it over to you. I know we heard Robert's moth story. on video, but we are lucky enough to get to hear you share a moss story that you wrote. So Keisha, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. Oh, well, it was difficult for my mom raising me, raising me and one of my brothers because me love for me was everything and before me. I was in and out of the hospital. And even though it was hard, my mom persevered and we did the best. We did the best we could do. But over the years, I could say the person who could say is a part of my mind, really, and I won't believe, I won't believe you, but these words from my heart. Go, 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 let nobody define your life for you. Make your life your own. And have anybody overlap me. I have them know, hey, this is what I want to wear my life.
Thank you, Keisha, for sharing your story. So, so growing up, so Keisha's mom went through a lot of challenges, obviously, as did Keisha. So Keisha had epilepsy and cerebral palsy and was in and out of the hospital a lot. I I believe you insinuated a brother of yours had a disability as well. So it was a lot and really hard on hard on Keisha's mom. But despite all of that, her mom persevered, and some of that kind of lives in Keisha, right? And how she gained that independence and overcame a lot of obstacles that had once seemed so hard, like almost impossible. With her determination, and she just wants to leave everybody with three really good points. So, one, to make your life your own. Two, don't let anybody take your rights from you. Those are your rights, and everyone has the same rights as a human being and needs to be treated with dignity. And three, to speak up for what you tell me if I'm getting the third one right, Keisha. I believe you said to speak up for what you need and what you want, and to make your needs known and your wants. Yes. Okay, good. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Thank you, Keisha, for sharing your story. Really amazing and powerful. And so I know that we have a few more minutes to get to some questions. So we encourage you, if you have any questions, pop them into the chat. I have a few here. The first one is, will the ableism webinar be recorded? Yes. So that ableism webinar that I talked about a little bit earlier, that is going to happen next Tuesday, that is one of the ones that we are recording as well. So after that's recorded, we'll make sure to post it on our website. So yes, absolutely. And so our next question is, how hard is it to balance support with independence? And Robert, maybe I'll toss this one to you. So thinking about independence, but also maybe a need for some support. How hard is it for you to balance that support with independence?
Well, I actually did make a lot of progress over the last 28, 30 years in terms of independent goals that my family did not ever teach me, in terms of cooking, grocery shopping, laundry, and pouring my meds as I'm doing now. But my rights, unfortunately, were taken away from me 5 years ago when new management started at my organization. And it's really, really been difficult. I've been hospitalized 4 times and passed out in my apartment because of all this aggravation and the stress I've been going through. But I actually started my independence before I moved to John Penn, before I started with YI. So I made a lot of progress. It's just these other obstacles that I'm trying to overcome that are not being heard. I mean, it's not by anybody else. Yeah.
Yeah, so still trying to it sounds like, still trying to figure out that balance, which I think that's valid. And maybe what I'm hearing is that that's an ongoing process.
It has been for 5 years, Trace.
Yeah.
Wish it was over already, but
Well, thank you for sharing. Keisha, I want to toss that same question to you. Just thinking about that balance between needing support, but also needing independence. How hard is it to balance those two?
For me, it's very hard because I know I need the support, but being the person I am a lot of times, I want to be an independent and I can. So for me, it's it almost like a government act.
Thank you, Keisha. So Keisha was sharing it's kind of a balancing act because she knows there's some areas where she needs support, but she is a fiercely independent woman and wants to be as independent as possible. So it's just trying to find that balance.
Thanks, Keisha. All about that balance. So I'll toss it out if there's any more questions. I know we did pretty good. We got a lot of these questions in throughout the presentation. So if there's any last minute questions, feel free to add those. But if we don't have any more questions, I know we wanted to, if Zoom webinar will cooperate with my video, I think maybe they will this time. We wanted to end and we have one more video that we wanted to share. But I have one more question that came in, and maybe Robert, I'll toss it to you.
Okay.
And then Keisha, I'll toss it to you. Robert, how did it feel to present at the conference this year and present today? How'd this feel?
I had to admit, Trace, I was a little nervous as I was talking about my family history, but in regards to speaking today, I've done so many presentations, conferences already. No, I was able to wing it. I was able to get through, and I thought I did an excellent job.
I second that, Robert. I thought you did an amazing job. And Keisha, I thought you did an amazing job as well. But Keisha, I wanted to give you the opportunity to answer this question too. How did it feel to present today?
Honestly, I was comfortable and quickly, and I couldn't go friends who need help, and I have been fulfilling the help.
Thank you, Keisha. So Keisha is a total professional with this, a professional trainer, but this just feels like talking to friends, and giving help to friends. This is what this feels like to her.
Oh, that's really cool. And I'll tell Keisha and Robert, there's a comment that came into the question and answer that just says, Keisha and Robert, thank you so much for sharing with us. We would all second that. Thank you so much. There is another question that came in. This is a big question. Robert, maybe I'll toss it to you. Like, what do you think the next steps can be? And I might just interpret this question like, what do you think the next steps can be for advocacy and for young people maybe looking to get involved in advocacy? What do you think the next steps could be for them?
Well, definitely attend a lot of conferences, a lot of meetings. I know a lot of parents with sons and daughters who have autism, and they are part of a lot of meetings in their homes at different organizations, and they're really fighting for their sons and daughters. They're not kidding around. So I would attend more meetings, and I would also attend a lot of conferences, even if they're not in New York City, because we always are part of the Albany yearly conferences also. We go to Albany, New York, and we do our same presentations we do in here in the city. But I would definitely start within New York City, and then if need be, because YI is connected all over the universe. It's in all other countries, other states, as well as New York. So
yeah, those are some great ideas and good points too. I think, part of your advocacy work has been going up to Albany, right? And lobbying with the legislators in Albany.
But I like to add also, Tracy, and we're in time, also the individuals in the group homes and residences, and even individuals with their families, if they can get the opportunities to get the activity access back that I've been trying to get back. I don't just see the individuals just going to YI parties at 42nd Street and Zurich Avenue. I could see them, if the staff choose to make them go to more outings like movies or Broadway plays or concerts. They should not be limited to what they have to do. My opinion only.
Yeah, and it's a valid opinion, not limiting.
No.
Yeah. Thank you, Robert. Keisha, I'm gonna toss this question to you. What do you think the next steps could be for people interested in getting involved in advocacy, or even people that are involved in advocacy? Like, what might some next steps be?
Okay, good back on Robin. And could be careful if you got a group of friends or maybe a family member. You could come together and talk about everyone who live on own, or maybe we want a crowd, or maybe we want to go to school. It could be anything. Just when we got success and creating a small group of friends.
Thank you, Keisha. So Keisha was saying it could start with even talking to your group, like a small group of friends or a small group of your family members, and talking about what you want from your life. Like saying if you want to, your goals are to move out independently, to find a spouse, to whatever it is that you want. Just it can start with just talking with your group and voicing what it is that you want to achieve.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks, Keisha. So on that note, the end of our workshop, we wanted to share this video with you. This is from the Central Park Challenge a number of years back, but these are some self-advocates doing a rap and spoken word in Central Park. And Robert and I found this video and we chose it because it really is another form of storytelling, right? Rap. Yeah, so Robert's featured in this video, so we're gonna play this now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, why are Self-Advocacy in Motion performing their original piece, Seeing Beyond Disabilities.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? We got a little story to tell. Cause my name is Michael. I'm not a unicycle. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm not the R word, and neither are you.
Hi, everyone. Hi. My name's Jerry. I'm very merry. I do a time for people. My time to say people who they are. That's a building. Woo-hoo! My name is Melvin, not Elvin. I see with one eye, but that doesn't stop me from seeing, from talking to everyone I see. Beyond disability.
Hi, my name is Greta. I am a board member. I have a walker, but I am not a fast talker. Don't put me down. You look like a clown. What's so wild? What's so wild? My name is Island. I'm a soul sister. Seeing beyond disabilities means a lot to me. Just because I'm disabled doesn't mean I'm broken or have broken limbs that's buried down to my skin. I'm tired of people making fun of me, dissing me all the time. Because you don't know me doesn't mean that you can play with my intelligent mind.
Hola, buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
All right. I got a story to tell. My name is Ishmael, and I got a story to tell. I'm a college grad, I'm a journalist, and I'm a photographer. So when you see me, don't be sad. And by the way, please, don't be quick to diss me.
Hi, everybody. I'm Terry Bryson Jr. What's up? My name is Terry from around the way. When all the brothers see, they all say, hey. I may have a disability, this is true, but we're all the same, I'm just like you.
What's up, YI people? My name's the Robster like no Bobster. My name's the Robster like no Bobster. I see beyond my disability. I got it like that, you see. There's not a dog thing, there's not a doggone thing wrong with me. I got it like that, you see. Just see beyond my disability, everybody!
Robert, this is true. because no one is perfect, not even you. What's up, New York City? Why I rules? And I got few things to say. How you doing? And what's going on, everybody? Everybody's okay? Well, here it is. My name is Carmelo. I'm such a star fellow. Seeing beyond disability means having the ability to see an open future for you, me, and everybody. One more time. For everybody.
Let's hear it for the self-advocacy in motion.
So we thought that was a really great way to.
I'm just getting a little teary-eyed watching.
Yeah, lots of reactions and claps and hearts.
Wow.
That's like a preview for those of you tuning in. If you join us at Central Park Challenge, you can get some more of that. It's such a great time.
Great.
So. Yeah. Well, I wanted to thank you, Robert. Thank you, Keisha, for all the time you put into, creating today's presentation. We really appreciate it. It's really amazing to hear from both of you and for you to both really share your knowledge and your expertise with everyone that tuned in. So thank you both. And thank you everyone for tuning in. This was really great. And hopefully we'll see some of you at maybe tomorrow's webinar or the webinars next week, or maybe even at Central Park Challenge on May 31st. So. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Robert and Keisha.
No problem, Tracy. Bye. Tracy, bye, Keisha. Join us. You guys did great.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, Bridget.
Bye-bye.